Welcome. I'm Dice, and this is the second episode of the Final Fantasy XIII Let's Play. I'm also joined again by
Izala. Hello. I am still here.
So this is something that's easy to miss if you're doing a quick run through of the game. Every time you load, they will do a story so far type of recap, and this changes throughout the chapters. And we are back at the Resistance front with our new protagonist.
Yay. A very divisive character.
Yeah. We can let people decide for themselves how they feel about him.
You know, have an open mind.
I think he's the closest to your generic JRPG hero, though, or I guess anime hero.
Yeah. Not like the reluctant kind.
No, definitely not. I tried to grab some of the incidental dialogue from the NPCs here.
This is crazy.
Then take a nap.
Really? Can I?
Sure. And when we're taking a dirt nap, you can save them all.
No, that's even worse.
How old is that kid? 10? 12?
Together. Our enemies, the Cocoon Sanctum.
The Resistance doesn't shy away from child soldiers.
What's the dread? PSICOM's nothing but a whole bunch of bluster and bullying. They've got nothing on Nora.
His most protective battle armor.
After all.
Right.
The open shirt, mini skirt.
Sanctum's gonna pay for this.
At least Snow has that defensive jacket.
The jacket is one of my disappointments with Snow. So you'll see here that he gains this crest on the back. I really wish that there was some amount of the armor affecting their character models in the open world.
How about this?
Yeah.
But so the character we're controlling now is Snow. He has two of his seemingly friends with him in combat. Snow is your generic brawler.
Gotta clear a path out of here.
We have a single target attack and a form of AoE. His hand grenade does act a little weird. He usually throws it at the foot of the person, so getting splash damage is really weird. He definitely does not throw it particularly far. It can make some difficulties getting multiple enemies hit.
He's also a bit less tactical than Lightning, and is more just prone to, I'll rush in and figure it out later.
Definitely. So I'm checking the menu here. We can't go into those other two characters' status windows. It seems weird. It's maybe they're not playable characters in the future. But effectively, his combat works exactly the same as Lightning has up to this point, except that he has substantially more HP. Lightning has about 220 HP at this point, and he has 350 base.
No more.
There are soldiers everywhere.
Yo, boss. What's the plan?
Charge in, guns blazing.
Hey, that's not a plan.
Real heroes don't need
He's not wrong.
plans.
At least they have confidence.
And plot armor.
Yeah.
So I try to hand grenade the guy in the back, and okay, I think that does hit him, but the blast radius is just It doesn't... I feel like a hand grenade should explode in a little bit more area.
Especially when you have very little control over where it actually goes.
Same plan as always. Hit him hard, and hit him again.
First Phoenix down.
Possibly. I can't remember if it was shown on the screen, but I went back through and did the data logs a bit. And it'll come into play later, spoilers. But if your main character dies, there is no recovery from it. I think it may have mentioned it in one of the Force tutorial pop-ups also. So Phoenix Downs are useful for your secondary characters, but there's little you can do if your main character is your primary damage
You're
soak.
the only hope these people have. Don't you kids go falling behind now.
So they're clearly establishing
Yeah.
this conflict here of, you know, some group of people versus the SciComm.
How
Yes.
about this?
I think this might be the first preemptive strike that I got in the LP, the recorded part of the LP. Effectively, what it does is it puts every single enemy immediately at the threshold to become staggered. But that will slowly drain, just like their normal stagger bar. So you have to follow it up very quickly. You get initiative bonus, so it helps you your score and makes it easier to get 5-star ranks.
You all okay? Hey,
So I guess the SciComm were rounding them up and just waiting to mass
Don't
slaughter
worry.
instead of just killing
No one's
them
moving to
immediately,
pulse
even though
today.
that was their
We'll clear you a path out
plan
of here, so be ready to.
previously. Like, why were they sitting here when there was a whole line of guards up to this point?
Could help.
Yeah, a little unclear.
Let us help.
Okay then. Volunteers front and center.
Here, take this one. Here you go. And one for you.
Count
Go
me in.
for it. Here's yours. Take care now. Mom?
Don't worry.
Huh?
So I just
Hold it steady.
Yeah, feels good.
Yep, nice.
That's a red flag.
Show me again.
You got it.
That's how it works.
You sure?
Yeah. Moms are tough.
Right.
It's the last one, boss.
All right, last one. Somebody take it.
No.
I'm just thinking about what his choice is later on.
Yeah.
Push comes to shove. Keep him safe.
First impression of snow? All talk.
All right, lay low and you'll be fine. We'll clear out the area.
There's certainly no time for a gun
We're
safety
going
course
home
there.
Together.
Clearly she hasn't been to one.
Come on! Everybody up!
Right. New recruits, on me.
Come on.
Time to go, kiddo.
We're not losing to SciComm, you hear me?
This'll be a piece of cake. It's not over till it's over.
Yeah, so we equip this here, and At this point in the game, he's effectively unkillable.
Stay sharp.
Sorry, boss.
People will have to let me know if cutting on things like the save points and stuff is distracting or if it helps.
How about this?
With the PC version, the load times are pretty fast. It gets through the dialogue for that stuff.
You see
So
that?
I'm not sure if it's actually more distracting by music cut and all that stuff.
Later.
There's not a lot of difference in these combats. We're still walking down a hallway, punching guys. But I missed a couple of hand grenades there, and that cost me the max points.
How about
So you
this?
kind of like started in the corner where is everybody else that was evacuating.
Well, we walked down one way, then just walking back the other way. Like, we were going exactly where we came from. So they had to get dropped off, I guess?
All right, let's shake things up a little.
By fighting the same things again.
There's a cutscene first.
Oh wait, we get something new.
Heroes don't run from fights.
So this is a beta behemoth, iconic enemy of Final Fantasy. It looks cool, but also we're fighting it incredibly early in the game. Most of the time, these don't come up until the
There's
final
nothing
dungeon.
we can't do.
Well, to be fair, it is just the beta version. It's also
Thanks.
distinctively more mechanical than other iterations of the behemoth.
Definitely.
Though I forget if like this one has like some biological elements as well.
So
Mechanical.
doing the extra videos has actually been really good in regards to basically being forced to read all that stuff. Because definitely first time through, I maybe open the data log occasionally, but more to get rid of the exclamation points than to internalize the information there. So the biomechanicals or militarized units, 100% they are trained, genetically engineered, and technologically enhanced. So there is some amount of bioorganism left, and they are based on quote-unquote native species of cocoon.
So they're like cyborg
Yeah.
military dogs.
No kidding.
They have all the ferocity of their feral origins, but they obey SciComm. So technology and training, removing free will. She didn't need any training.
Told you, didn't
No.
I? Moms are tough.
Interesting move, destroying their own infrastructure.
if I'm remembering the dialogue for the locales right, the hanging area that we're in, I can't remember the actual name. The Hanging Edge, yeah. Is part of the section of Cocoon that was destroyed at some point and is generally considered like not good area. So the infrastructure here is basically derelict anyways.
So this is your Sector 7 slums.
Yeah. Maybe Sector 5?
Well, I guess just the slums in general. You're
Yeah.
under the plate here, clearly.
Come on! We have to move!
Right.
It's an out-and-out massacre. Those people won't even live long enough to die on Pulse.
That was the idea.
What?
Sanctum logic. They conjured up the Purge to eliminate a threat. I mean, why carry the danger all the way to Pulse? Why not just stamp it out here? Execution masquerading as exile. That's all the Purge ever was.
Relocation to Pulse. How does the government get away with pulling crap like that? And you knew this was gonna happen?
The Purge was SciComm. Private Sanctum troops, not the Guardian Corps.
SciComm, Guardian Corps. Soldiers are soldiers, aren't they? Pulse Foul C and their lessee are enemies of the state. Tell a soldier to kill an enemy, and you really think it's gonna matter what uniform he's wearing?
Might have mattered to that one. Couldn't shoot. Got himself shot instead.
How about you? Orders say shoot, you pull the trigger? Fine. Forget I asked.
Wait. What?
Smooth battle transition.
This is one of the things I think Square is most proud about is their transition from CG to game.
I remember when they were like talking up the engine, it was like, well, we really didn't need to do pre-rendered cutscenes so much because we kind of are just using that level of quality in the game engine.
Like we said last time. Yeah, the character models do actually really hold up even, what is it, 12 years later now? Almost.
Something like that, yeah, if not more. But we did get a little bit more conversation on the Falci and Lassie there, at least enough to know that the government considers them enough of a threat.
Yeah, and that the military is set up into at least 2 separate areas.
Yeah, your like National Guard, where Lightning was. Yeah.
I guess National Guard would be your Sanctum Corps, or your
Guardian Corps.
Guardian Corps. And SciComm would be the federal military. aesthetically, a lot of the area, the models, and everything are still beautiful.
Just what you were looking for.
Yeah. Right in there.
The post file C.
Don't worry. We'll be okay.
Mom.
Here. It's too much, isn't it?
A present for you.
Face it later. Ciao!
Hey, wait!
Just shove those emotions down.
They really could have used some firearm safety
said
training.
major
Just like
happiness
hands it to this emotionally unstable kid.
Really?
I mean, he does the right thing. He leaves it behind. But again, that's a second choice that he has made.
So, how do you figure that post file C is different from the sanctums? All things being equal, I just as soon keep wondering.
Time to jump.
Yeah. Hey, hey!
I'll need to make a highlight reel of all the baby choke posts at some point.
What the? Hey!
So remember that thing was broken?
Yeah. It's fixed now.
Apparently not.
Damn. She can do it.
It's just on cooldown.
Yeah.
That's sound logic there.
Seemed to work out for him.
That's
I'm
pretty
sure he's had a
bold.
lot of experience with those.
Yeah.
Come on, come on!
What about the others? They didn't die. They couldn't have died.
Of course not.
Again, they have plot armor.
And a lot of confidence.
Hey, get a grip, man! What's wrong with you?
Get him home. Get who home?
That explosion must have been intense. Godot's hair is just flown all the way back. Standing on edge.
Toss me that.
Catch. What are you doing?
So what are you afraid of, huh? You're supposed to be the hero. She's waiting there, ain't she? Your lovely bride-to-be? Isn't it about time you picked her up?
Yeah. There's our ride.
Now you're talking.
How could they?
From a gameplay perspective, I like that they keep the interactables present during, like, controlled, not cutscene necessarily, but
Everyone's
yeah, I guess
alright.
cutscene. But it could be a little distracting with just this ball bouncing up and down.
Yeah, the little Pokeball there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, come get your potion. Or
Well, it's a weapon.
yeah, well,
I guess a new coat. Significant strength upgrade, and all we can do right now is attack, so. So the last one was a boar. What kind of animal do you think this one is?
panther.
Ah, so close. Whatever that is.
Yeah. It says panther on. We got these weird aerial troopers.
Yeah, we fought one in the previous section with lightning. It just they. So are these the guys that showed up on those flying motorcycles though? They wouldn't need to, right?
You would think, because if they have these, I don't even want to call them like jetpacks, because they clearly encompass a bit more than like a backpack. But I mean, if they can fly on their own, why did they need those?
Maybe they can only hover with them, but it seems really inconvenient getting off of a motorcycle and then into one of these.
Yeah. Clearly,
Potions.
is not super concerned with efficiency.
Well, when the military budget's so high.
Right. I think they eventually refer to them as more of the police force than military, but the lines are kind of blurred when they're kind of like directly commanded by the Sanctum.
Yeah. And the Sanctum is just the government. The data log covers it a little bit.
All right, on my go.
Right.
Go!
Like,
You think the battle music plays for them, like in their head?
I'd like to think so.
I'm doing something cool. Need that sting.
I also want to point out that, you know, Snow does this countdown and then just straight up stays behind cover. It's like, alright, good luck.
It's like, well, I don't have a gun. It was your choice not to have a gun.
It's interesting seeing him take, like, this tactical approach where, like, the only thing he can do is run out and punch them anyway.
So those must have been the soldiers on the bicycles.
Yeah.
Where's the
So there doesn't seem to
soul?
be enough of them. It honestly looks like it's right out of an
Hey,
arcade
Godot.
setup.
Yeah?
I wouldn't know what that's like.
Who you've got to
Yeah.
save. You just protect them all, right?
Something on your mind? You got plenty of time for thinking on the way, hero.
Yeah.
Ready!
Guy's appearance gives real Waka vibes.
100%. I think his hair is very similar to Waka. He had like mohawk in the back a little bit, and the front
And like
shield.
facial structure.
He's kind of sold as like the bro a little bit, which I think Waka definitely fits that vibe.
Don't shoot.
Snow!
Since when do you care about kids?
Maybe he got his nap.
Favor for a friend.
Very well.
Okay.
Hey, Snow! You made it!
Hey,
Yo,
I took a nap while you were
So-
gone.
you really managed to use that thing?
I think I'm done.
You're done when we are.
Ow, what's it?
That's the one.
Didn't you have something to tell him?
Yeah,
All right then.
but
I'll go with you.
What?
You have no
And I don't know what
idea
kind
it was
of
like.
skull that's on the front of the
The army's no match
giant
for
structure
Nora.
that they're carting around.
I meant the kids.
Almost like a bowl or something.
All accounted for.
Okay.
I'm not
Keep
sure
it that
either.
way, all right?
Hey!
I'll swing by the vestige. Keep the kids out of trouble.
You got it. Say hi to the missus for me. You go skirt chasing, I take care of the kids. Some husband.
Dinner's on me.
Better be home cooking.
When's the wedding, lover boy?
Well, don't worry, none of you are invited.
We're still going.
Hey, you serious?
What about me?
Catch you later.
Oh.
They tried really hard.
Yeah.
Wait! Come back!
I don't think he heard you.
I had some serious difficulties there, but this is the first time going into the shop. There isn't a lot we can do at the shop right now. We only have one shop. One of the decisions that they made for this game was to not have your standard Final Fantasy shops. It's all through that dialogue.
Get you all someplace safe.
Stop running around, kid.
This to Nora.
And yeah, so Nora is the group that Snow is leading. Godot and all of these other unique character models.
Keep calm.
I will permit it to pass over.
And all we really know about them is that they're
Done. Just have to
opposed to the government for some reason. I mean, it's understandable what they're doing here because they're rescuing the purge deportees,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Give me every
but
round you can carry.
We'll get you all someplace safe.
It's dirty.
they don't seem super organized
Point in living.
Definitely not.
Dead.
Do we even run
and are pretty full of themselves.
any farther? I'm crying. What we do to deserve
Split up and find a way out of here.
We try to go as far as we
I'd rather
can.
have died with everyone else.
One wrong step and I'm dead too.
Don't cry.
I'm getting out of here. I'll run to the other side of Caboose for now.
I think I'd rather
We try to go as
Stay
far
Explored the
focused or we're
entire
done
corridor.
for.
cry.
Yeah. It's very exciting dialogue.
Yeah.
You okay?
I want to tell him. It's just that.
Say, you know how to fly this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. In you go. That way.
I'm not sure if I'm surprised that he would know how to fly it. Surprised he has the confidence that he knows how to fly it. We have very little understanding of like
If we go in there,
the structure of the society
it could make us
here.
listen.
Is it unique that he's able to fly it?
I don't think I can.
You can do it.
What are you two doing?
Here we go.
Seemed a lot faster than when Snow
He
was
doesn't know how to fly it.
Get back here! You hear me? Hey!
The pulse FFXIII. It held our future. And our fate.
And so that is the transition to chapter 2.
Now, where is the... Oops. Well then... Guess
And we're now in some kind of techno
us.
temple.
What did you expect? Even soldiers know not to go near the foul sea. You become a pulse l'Cie, and you're finished.
What do you mean, finished?
Haven't you heard, Miss...
Vanille.
Huh?
My name. And yours?
Hope.
That name's not telling at all.
What were we thinking?
Well, since we're here, let's look around.
Why not?
So it's a little confusing. We're not... The Pulse Fal'Cie
Check this out.
Hey!
is both its entire structure,
Vanille,
but also
where
not.
are you?
Yeah. They do also call it the lower world vestige,
Yes.
which is what they were referring to earlier when they just said vestige.
Well,
And then whatever that's supposed to be.
It's certainly one of the weirder weapon
you're gonna
types.
regret this.
But also, I'd like to point out that Hope had 2 opportunities to have a gun,
Right.
and instead he has a boomerang. And yeah, her weird ball tether stick. And one of the items we got from that combat was B&W Outfitters. So you actually acquire shops as drops.
Better stay
Not all the
close.
time. You get them basically through story events. They become key items that then give you access to new shops. And so this is the accessory shop, and we can't afford anything. And this will also be the introduction to just how allergic I am to Critical Path.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I think I was going to add earlier, I just stopped for the cutscene there. When they call this the lower world vestige, it is referring to Pulse being the lower world. So the implication is that this is just some structure that is left over or now present in Cocoon, whose origin was Pulse. At least as far as we know right now. But like, they do a really poor job of explaining what the heck it actually is.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to the in situ start for this, but I think they could have used a little bit more framing, maybe.
I think they could have benefited maybe from not switching between the characters as frequently as they do and using flashbacks a bit more.
Yes!
Yeah.
But it is what it is. The intro's not that long, all things considered.
Yeah, like I said, we are technically in Chapter 2 at this point.
This place was supposed
And
to be
this
empty.
definitely starts feeling more Final Fantasy. The kind of the aesthetics, and we get into some of it later, this area feels like some of the sphere puzzles areas in Final Fantasy X. And also, sometimes her weapon will just bug out. You'll miss some attacks with it because it's based on the balls actually hitting the enemy to deal damage, and they'll just get stuck in the air.
Please don't go looking for trouble.
I've also noticed that a lot of weapons in this game tend to fold up after combat.
How do you fold up gloves?
Yeah, I don't know. Snow might be an exception to that. But the boomerang folds up. Lightning's gunblade folds up.
So this is covering preemptive strikes and general fields of vision. We've talked about this a little bit, but this is a Force tutorial. And it also is, even if you read it here, the data log entry is still marked as unread, which they just really want you to know that you can do this.
After they've already given you a preemptive strike automatically earlier.
No daydreaming now.
And the tutorial preemptive strike, I immediately whiffed.
Yeah.
For these guys, it's basically 2 hits and they're dead, so combat-wise, it doesn't really change a lot, depending on the encounter. However, I did manage to not get a drop I had gotten previously. So even with 5-star, there are still not guaranteed drops. And Hope just has no HP, so he's getting that bangle.
Classic Final Fantasy item is the bangles. I don't know if they're in all of them, but they're certainly in a lot.
You're gonna regret this.
So we're fighting these things here, which are the same things we fought earlier that were clearly part of the Psychon Force. But there's no actual soldiers here, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how much to cover that. I don't remember which data log entry that came from. But they are definitely related to Psychon.
Aren't you scared?
Not so much.
You really don't get it.
Pulse Falsi and Lassie are bad news. That's why Cocoon kicked them out. Live too close to the Falsi, one-way ticket to Pulse. That's the purge in a nutshell.
If they catch us here, they'll purge us too. And
What's
then...
your problem?
What's my...
Kind of already
Pulse is
were
hell
being
on
purged.
We'll be okay. Calm down.
Get off me.
Sarah?
Huh?
Can you hear me? Where are you? Don't worry, Sarah. Your hero is on his way.
This area here looks very sphere puzzly.
Yeah. And cannot do critical path. Need to check for all these. Every treasure chest. I needed those potions.
You never know. What if somebody's like ultimate weapon is just hidden in one of these?
only if I do it in 5 hours. I can't remember what it was for Excalibur 2 and Final Fantasy 9, but that is just a crazy ultimate weapon. And it's just hidden in a chest, but you have to get there on time.
Yep.
Bring it on!
Yeah, a lot of combat encounters are set up so that you can't get rhythm check on them. Enemies will move into position and then never move out. They don't actually have like a path that they are following.
Whatever that thing is in the background.
How about this?
Also, it looks like a spaceship.
It looks like a smaller version of the thing that we are currently in.
Yeah.
Like it's almost a fractal pattern in giant foreboding structure design.
Just hold on, Sarah.
It was a very complicated puzzle.
This is the first one.
Still won't budge? I think the door is winning.
Why didn't I listen?
Beg your pardon?
It was me. This is my fault.
Beg your pardon?
Cover your ears.
Huh? Oh, blast charge? Oh, wait, hold on. All right, hold up. All right, go for it! Make it happen!
I'm so sorry. Please let me in. Please?
Hey!
What? How'd you open it?
Now, is that a coincidence? Is it just because Snow activated
After
something?
you.
Seems like that might be the implication since they cut where that little, like, electricity thing is coming in. But also, who knows? Doesn't guarantee anything. I, appreciate the humor with her saying, cover your ears, to apologize though.
And so these are shrouds. There's very little in the way of field items, and this is basically covering what your field items are. Effectively, you can apply a buff to yourself for the start of the next battle, or a Deceptisol, which allows you to shroud yourself, which is confusing when the entire item category is called shrouds, to prevent from getting spotted, using to either bypass enemies or force a preemptive strike. I spent entire too long. I had gotten a drop in the previous area and tried to use it from the standard menu, forgetting how to activate this in a previous recording. I knew you could activate them. I just completely forgot it was its own menu system.
I didn't end up using them very often.
I forgot how powerful some of them are. I used one coming up shortly more to demonstrate it, and I'm actually a little sorry that I did. I don't remember them being particularly rare, though.
I don't think they're rare, but I don't remember if you can just buy them either. Maybe
Yeah,
like some of them.
And maybe later on. They definitely didn't want you to get preemptive strikes on every encounter.
Yeah, it would significantly shorten and easy the encounter. So I actually noticed when we came into this area here, the subtext on like the area title screen actually said the Pulse Vestige instead of Lower World Vestige. I don't know if that was actually like an intentional late reveal after some of the dialogue, or if it was a mistake.
Well, we were already inside the Pulse FFXIII, so. But yeah, so I used the combat attack one, which gave me bravery, haste, and what's the magic version?
I don't remember at the moment, like what it's actually called. Faith.
Yeah, so I gained
Faith.
What was that?
Faith. Bravery and faith.
Yeah. But unfortunately, they only last for a single combat. They also have a duration for in the field, so you're not just banking it for the next encounter. You have to use it within a certain amount of time, and there isn't really any good indicator for how much time you have. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. Getting a preemptive strike on this guy, it surprisingly doesn't actually speed it up that much. He just has a lot of HP. But I feel like his cone of vision is definitely more narrow than it intended to be. So this is a longer combat. You can notice that every attack that I'm doing while it's staggered also increases the percentage damage buff from stagger.
Hard to believe no one noticed this thing for all these years.
And so what Saz was talking about there, I can probably cover it from the data log. In the area where Snow and Nora in general are from, this entire structure was just a landmark, apparently for hundreds of years. And then somehow they discovered that it was actually a Pulse FFXIII, and that's the inciting incident for the Purge.
Yeah, it's just kind of like dormant and chilling out for a while.
You'll item crate weapon and increase damage. Yes, please.
Lower magic though.
Zaz is just my tank for this combat.
I mean, he's clearly had more firearms training than Nora.
So he's seen a gun previously.
Yeah, and perhaps the movie Equilibrium. It looks like he's doing some kind of gun kata.
It's definitely easier to aim when the guns are behind your back, right?
If those things are still around, might be some soldiers trapped in here too. Except they'd probably be l'Cie by now. Huh? Not even human anymore. Just post-l'Cie.
What's a l'Cie?
Enemy's a cocoon. Can't show him any mercy.
There's the next one.
What is critical path?
What's interesting is, you turned around and came back here, and there's clearly, like, no path from which he could have come from. You're kind of just, like, trapped in here. But, like, we saw him kind of walk into an area before we left him.
He could have jumped down from something? Because there's a whole bunch of, like, pathways that just kind of lead off to nothing, because the sliding puzzles, but...
Yeah. This is where some of the infamy for just being a corridor simulator, I think this is where it gets its reputation, is what I'm trying to say.
Definitely.
It's not so bad if you just are willing to not really think about it and progress the story, but...
Yeah, it's a pacing mechanic.
Yeah.
Coming from previous Final Fantasy games, and 10 was definitely less open-worldy in its map design and stuff like that too. This just doesn't even try to hide it.
Yeah. They made some effort to have 10 still feel like all of the areas were interconnected to some extent, and here they just kind of broke it up, which I'm sure is actually done for development.
Oh, 100%.
Just to be able to divide it up between multiple people more. This was an expensive and time-consuming game to make.
All right.
Yeah, RPG elevators are really just not up to the same safety standards as those in the real world.
Well, he has bravery on his side.
It's true. Is he surprised that it went down instead of up? Even though gotta wonder.
He is here.
I could have saved myself some backtracking.
Hero.
So based off this cutscene is why I assume that what Lightning did was a coincidence, because they're the same style door.
Exactly, yeah.
Tell him what you need to.
But nothing I say'll change what happened.
We could just run away.
So they respawn some enemies behind us that we can get back to, but unfortunately at this point there is absolutely no reason to do additional combat. Which, in a JRPG, not having a motivation to grind certainly seems weird.
They haven't even introduced any mechanism for XP or growth yet, I don't think.
Nope. But yeah, I could have saved myself some backtracking to get that sphere. But we had to come up here anyways because there's a new sphere.
You're gonna regret this.
And we have no area damage on either of these characters.
But it's okay, because you got a preemptive strike on.
And by the time I actually attack all of them, one of them has not. Yep, he fell out. So that's what happens if you can't break the threshold on a preemptive strike. So that fight, not a huge deal, but there are some fights later where you need to pick your targets carefully based on how easy it is to stagger them. And Fortisol is the third type of Shroud. That's the one that increases your defense. So I'm assuming Mono Ward, Protect.
Conveniently staggered right as they die.
That's how it works. It is nice that the last hit, the one that makes them go stagger, gets the stagger bonus, though.
Right. Does help.
We can't fight things like that.
You've already killed several of them, though.
No daydreaming now. Take that.
And it is interesting that Vanille here has 3 ATB bars.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Hope, not that you can see directly, does only have 2, because he's only doing 2 combos.
Can't we take it a little slower?
It's probably, you know, just you're limited with how much a boomerang can do, right?
Yeah. This isn't an arena at all.
What are they?
See, you failed. This is what happens when Lassie don't complete the focus the Fal'Cie gave him.
Let's even these odds.
These are weird bondage monsters.
No problem.
They explode. Real nice.
How did you get
Her
in?
movement is a little,
You gotta leave.
on the disturbing side.
Okay, listen. Find some place to hide and keep quiet. Once I find Sarah, we'll all leave together. You'll be home in time for dinner.
You...
Wait! Who's Sarah?
My wife. Future wife, that is. She's a Pulse Lassie.
No.
She's here somewhere, along with that Fal'Cie. I gotta find her and set her free.
What's wrong with you? Why do you want to help a Lassie? They're the enemy.
Huh?
How can you save a Lassie? You're not... That's insane!
Probably. But I gotta do something, right? I'll be back.
Should we wait around for him and hitch a ride?
I'd rather go to Pulse! Why is this happening to me? When they found the fal'Cie the other day, we were just visiting Bodum. But the army took us, threw us on that train. And because of that guy, Mom is...
Probably shouldn't leave them alone.
And he wants to help l'Cie?
Hey again.
Hey. Let's go with him. You gotta talk to him, Hope. If you don't take this chance, you'll regret it forever.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
I can certainly understand
What's got into you,
why
soldier?
people had a
Thought
hard
you came
time
for a
parsing
fight.
some of the dialogue in this.
My sister.
Your sister?
She's a l'Cie.
What? A pulse l'Cie?
The fal'Cie has her captive, but I'll find her.
Is she still... Hey, what was her focus? When she became a l'Cie, what did the fal'Cie order her to do? It wasn't blow up Cocoon or anything like that, was it?
I didn't ask.
Listen to me. When a person gets cursed by a fal'Cie, they become a l'Cie, and they get given a focus, right? How do I put this? If they don't carry it out, l'Cie end up as one of those things. What I'm saying is, if your sister's gone that far, I mean, she might still... How can I... Oh, man. There's no way to turn a l'Cie back into a human. Even if she completes her focus, there's no changing her fate. She'll live her life as a fal'Cie slave. Don't make her suffer.
Just say it! Any l'Cie, anyone who might ever become a l'Cie should be wiped off the face of Cocoon. It's people like you that started the Purge in the first place.
Yeah, that was really the first time they kind of give you a clear explanation as to what the l'Cie are, at least.
I mean, even then, not...
I mean, it's not clear, but compared to the previous scene with Snow, at least they kind of like spell it out rather than like hinting at things. I think it would have been helpful to have that dialogue first, if they just like swapped the order there. But I mean, yeah, it's not hard to see why this was kind of confusing concepts for people. It's, I mean, quite different looking at this for like the 4th or 5th time or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. But that set of dialogue is also the first time we get both the motivation for Lightning and Snow cleared out.
Right.
Like, we knew that Snow was coming to find his fiance, but we get why here, why this. We also get his fiance's name, Sarah. And also, again, I am just allergic to critical path. I could come and farm more enemies for drops, but there's, again, a little motivation for that. We got a power wristlet, gave lightning more strength. And they do a lot of talk about l'Cie and becoming a slave to the fal'Cie when these types of enemies show up. But they don't actually describe what the relationship there is directly yet.
All they say is if you fail your focus, that you get turned into one of these. So the assumption being that these things used to be people.
They're using a lot of undead naming conventions.
Yeah. But does a phoenix down kill them? I don't even know if you have the opportunity to use it on them. It's a bigger one.
That it is. It's weird that they're more crystal. Also, where this thing's face is just a little disturbing.
It's sunk down a little bit. The crystal motifs almost give it like a Dark Souls vibe in the Crystal Tower area. Or,
okay.
Not Crystal Tower, but that section. But it also kind of makes sense. Final Fantasy typically has a focus on crystals playing some kind of role.
At the wrong time.
Oh yeah.
All this happened.
Not so much during the PlayStation era, but...
But it's the question of, is that Ghast an evolution of this, or I guess what would affect the type you become, right?
Like, are they just further gone, or is it based on, you know, were they just tankier when they were people?
Or maybe the type of focus that they failed at influenced it. And so the implication is that every one of those, they haven't given us the actual name yet. We gotta drop that, spoils it a little bit, but I won't say it. Oh, and we have a major cutscene coming up, so hang on.
Sarah! Time to go. We have to leave before the army. What?
That's a Pulse brand. That girl's a l'Cie.
I already told you that.
Pulse l'Cie are the enemies of Cocoon.
So they should die?
Listen, if she fails her focus, you know how that'll end.
And killing her is a mercy?
You came.
Sarah!
Sarah.
Is that my hero?
Let's get you out of here.
Hands off. I'm taking her home.
Sis.
I'm not your sister. You couldn't protect her. It's your fault she can save us. Sarah? You can save us. Protect us all. Save Cocoon. Save Cocoon? Sarah, that was your focus?
Anything. I'll do anything. Leave it to me, you'll see. I'll protect Cocoon. I'll save everyone.
Somehow, I'll make things right.
You just relax.
Thank you. Sarah!
Sarah! Sarah!
Why is she turning to crystal?
We'll see who fulfill their focus. Are transformed into crystal and gain eternal life.
Just like the story said.
Sarah, sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams? She's not sleeping! Sarah's... she's...
She's alive.
No.
The legend. Remember the legend. Lassie, who fulfilled their focus, turned to crystal and gained eternal life. It's the same
not
with
Hope.
Sarah. Eternal life. She's not dead. Sarah's my bride-to-be. I promise to be hers forever. I don't care how many years I have to wait.
It's over! Open your eyes and face reality!
Sarah, does becoming a Lassie really mean losing everything?
Oh, wait.
What now?
The army.
It's nice that they've waited this long.
The target
Right.
is almost in place. Surface team, what is your status? Good to go. Resistance is under control. The assault proceeds as planned. Leave no trace. The pulse vestige never existed.
Fire!
I guess they've been waiting to get into position.
Why are they putting more tethers onto it, though?
Yeah, the strategy is not the most clear.
What's happening?
Must be a sanctum strike. Bring down the vestige and the foul sea right with it.
Aren't they taking it back to Pulse? That's what the patch was, right?
All they care about is getting everything from Pulse off Cocoon. Dead or alive, it's all the same.
We can't stay here. They'll kill us.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Trenchcoat, where you going?
Date with the foul sea. Got some things to talk about.
What? You gonna ask it to help her? Are you out of your mind, kid? That thing wants to chew us up and spit us out.
Well, what do you want me to do?
What?
Lightning?
Here we go.
Those weren't there in the cutscene.
So Lightning and Snow basically found their objective, the whole reason why they were here. Obviously, there's more drive past that. And Hope has been following Snow, but we don't know why Vanillers and Saz are here. Also, the very first time I fought these things, back when it first came out, I was really scared that the white was going to de-level me. Not that we have levels or anything. I think I had just learned about whites from D&D, and that's what they're known for. And I was just like, oh no, it's a really bad enemy, and then it was fodder. Yeah, the implication is that all of the SciComm soldiers that, like, the Robot Dog and the droids from earlier are here for, these are all the SciComm soldiers. They just basically got turned into Seath. We've gotten the drop a couple of times. But yeah, a Lassie that fails a focus turns into a Seath. And if you get an impossible focus with an impossible amount of time, they basically can just generate any person into a Seath immediately.
That's not exactly the most desirable outcome. It's kind of interesting because this is like almost borderline like their like kind of religion in the sense that Snow was mentioning the legend, and I think Saz was talking about it too a little bit, that turning into crystal grants you eternal life. But then there's clearly, you know, Lightning doesn't really believe that.
And also people don't necessarily go out of their way to become Lassie.
Right. In fact, it's bad, or viewed as bad.
Yeah.
The FFXIII.
In this model, I immediately get some Genova vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
And she did it. You got what you want. Now let her go. Please, turn her back. I'll be your Lassie instead.
Fine. You go on begging. Like this thing gives
I don't think I have a real
what
choice
we
in that matter, Snow.
Lightning!
It's this thing's fault the purge started. And it's people who are dying. Sarah told us to save Cocoon. That means this thing needs to die. What?
This is our first real exposure to what a FFXIII is. At least in physical form.
Yeah. Yeah, say hello to your machine god.
What the?
Come on now. You really think you can kill a FFXIII?
I'm doing this for Sarah.
Dodge.
Well, who's that?
They
I'm
make
in.
trucks?
As long as you don't mind an amateur. I got these things. Might as well use it.
Thanks.
So this is the fal'C Anima. Anima from Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite summon models. It's an interesting story too, but I'm not sure how much any of that association actually comes in here. I do swear that its face looks like a bull, which is very similar to the that skull model we saw on the outside.
At least what you can think of as its face.
Yeah. So this combat is destroy the arms to get some attack time on the main body. There's a little bit of a punishment mechanic for something you can't control necessarily. There is no indicator on how long it takes for the arms to regenerate, and it will attack you if you're inside that like front circle, but because you don't control your exact positioning, you're pretty much guaranteed to get hit unless you're just waiting around a lot. And it starts doing a new attack that hurts quite a bit if you're in a bad position, and
I can't stop now.
my main character died. So that's a game over. I had Phoenix Downs, but Phoenix Downs don't matter. But maybe we can correct for this a little bit. So only Snow got hit there because Lightning just happened to be standing further away. I do still play quite risky after just experiencing that, but this should show you how much HP difference Snow has too. You can just tank some of those hits and he still has more HP than Lightning does at full.
Main character dying, meaning game over, was not one of the popular decisions.
Especially not for you.
Yeah. May have had me stuck for quite a while at one of the bosses.
So we've killed a machine god. It's done, right? We've saved Cocoon.
What's going on?
Not sure we saved Cocoon.
Not from that, at least.
When I couldn't see a future, and I was afraid,
when the future was clear and it hurt to see, I'd just close my eyes and lose myself in happier days.
Thank you for watching, and next time we'll pick up with whatever that did to us.
Yep. See you then.